Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and build the tail with these pieces here and get it all together, so I can just go ahead and end off on page 13 and 14 here, and then we'll start on 15 after we probably put the servos in. Well, actually 15 is going to be putting all this on, so I'll just put that on. I can still slide the belt through with having that on, so it should be okay. Here's the push rod, push pull rod, whatever. It doesn't twist like the strikes do. It's just like any other helicopter, push and pull. Alright, there's the tail. And this is just a tail that, or a piece that clamps onto the tail. You can see the cutout there. Put a bolt through and it just clamps it down. So we'll go ahead and put that on. Slid right in. Actually, I got the wrong end. That little cutout there is there so that the bolt can pass through whenever it clamps it down. So I want to put the fin on too, so grab the fin. Got the long bolt here. Goes on the bottom. Some Loctite on it. Going through so easy. Threading all the way through. Dang. Thread it all the way through. Alright, it's there, so I'm going to twist this back. And it's asking for the 155, which is smaller. There's two of them. Yep. On the top there, so I can keep it from twisting, and then tighten that back bolt or the bottom bolt down to compress the fitting around the tail and keep it on. And I can see it, that gap getting smaller, and I'm gonna say that's it right there. I don't want to go too much. Plus, the actual bolt itself is going through that slit, and it'll keep it from coming off. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it in there. The lighting in here isn't the best, but the bolt, you can see that's keeping it from sliding off too. So, alright, that is on, and now we will use the rest of these parts, and that will get us finished with page 15. So once the raised edge outwards, it fits right into that little groove on this piece. Fits in there. It won't stay, but it does fit in there pretty tight. So it wants to use 155 and 354. So that's those two bolts right there, and then there's one left for probably this arm to mount onto that fella. So the reason they're using the longer one, or one longer one, is for this. This goes into this piece, and that goes into there. Those two, basically it has that little dowel type pin that goes into that, and then you put the bolts through both of them. And then you tighten this down into there with a longer one, and then the shorter one goes on the top. Tighten it and tighten it. Good to go there. So now, this was already pre-assembled, the bearings and all. Why they did that, I don't know. So we'll just leave it like that. But that will go like that. So that goes up through the bearing. Go through the bearings first before you apply the Loctite. And just like the other times, don't let that bolt slip back through the bearings, so the Loctite gets all over it. And as you're screwing, make sure it stays there and slip back through. Give it a snug. Make sure it moves freely. And then we got the ball itself. Alright, that's it. Tail is built through page 15 here, and probably going to go back towards the servos now, I guess, because I don't want to build it with this on. So, we'll see you there. That was 8 minutes, 15 seconds. Alright, I'm back, and the last thing I did was put the tail end piece together, and I said I was going to come back and do the servos. I really don't think I need to show much video of me sitting here putting servos in, so I'm going to, I've decided not to sit here and film me putting servos in. I mean, it's pretty, from what it seems on here, pretty standard, like any kit you get. You know, you're just screwing the servos down into the kit and hooking the linkages up to the swash and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those in so I can freely move this around without having to have the tail on and you know, ram it into everything, knocking stuff off the counter. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I did test fit the canopy, and that is with canopy on. It is, my opinion, man, just a sweet little heli, man. It really looks good, and you can see what I'm saying with this red, anodized red spacers and stuff. Really wish they would have went with just black, man. Black would have been great. I mean, hell, even yellow or something. I don't know. It's just something that matches it. But there, you know, as far as the canopy goes, there's nothing red about it. So I don't know. Could have done a little different, but anyway. So yeah, I just thought I'd come on and let you know about that. And it is that rubber piece on the on the swash. I forget what they call it now, but that little rubber piece is standing slightly above the canopy right here, if you can see it. But that's why they put the rubber on it, so it wouldn't rub into the canopy, you know, carbon on the fiberglass canopy. So anyway, all right. See you when I get back. All right, I got all the servos in. I got the V-bar mounted on the back here. I put a X-Guard IntelliSwitch down here below on this little rail. Put it on the back side of it though, and ran the wire behind there too, and it'll come up where the battery plate mounts right here. So I got that, and then the back plate RPM sensor from X-Guard as well, and then the X-Glow Pro Ice glow igniter. So all that's on. It's pretty much what I'm putting on there as far as electronics goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on and put the tail on now. I mean, I could have gone ahead and cleaned all the wiring up, but I'm just kind of at a point where I want to go and get the tail on so everything's in place and this belt will stop getting entangled and everything. I've been dealing with that. So anyway, so I'm back here and I'm going to start putting the tail on. So here we go. I reckon I'll do like I do all my other ones. I find the center of the belt. I don't know if you can see it all the way over there, but anyway, with the push rod that comes with the kit, I just kind of hold it. Let me get this out of my hand. I'll hold it inside the belt and pulling back on the belt with my other hand. Scoot this forward. I need to clean the table up. But now I'll put the end of this into the boom itself and push it all the way back in hopes that the belt doesn't come off the rod as I'm pushing. I think we still got it. All right, so yep, I can reach it with my finger. So now I'll just slide the rod back out, start to the side, and start pushing the belt through the boom braces up front. There it goes. And pulling the belt as I do it. Seems to be some resistance there, but I don't have any bolts in the boom braces just yet. There it goes. Felt like I just hit the front boom support, so I gotta find the. There it goes. All right, I think I'm all All right, so I'm all the way up front here where the tensioner is, and let's see the belt. There it goes. The belt was twisted, but I think we're good now. No, we're not good. Oh, yeah, we are. All right, so that's in. I'm gonna tell you what, there ain't much. I'm gonna have to grab this camera now, but there ain't much sticking out here. I mean, I guess it's enough, but that boom is pretty much all the way forward. So I can go a little more. Maybe. No, that's all the way forward. So now it's once we get that in, '16 is having us build the tail rotor, and then I'll obviously install it in the tail. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of the way for now, and we'll get it. And there's the throttle servo already connected. I leave the linkage off until I get to the setup stage. I've connected it too many times where it you turn it on and it binds really bad and stresses the servo out and whatnot. So anyway, let's go ahead and push this over here. This place is a mess, so excuse that, but that's what happens when you build. So page 16 and 17. Getting close, man. Getting close. I only got this left, which that's not even anything really. That's just zip ties and some more zip ties to throw in my Ziploc or zip tie bag. So that's kind of the end of it, but 3 more baggies. 16 and 17 are going to be the miscellaneous little bearings and thrust bearings and little parts. So go and open it up. All right, everything is out. It's interesting. That's a different tail rod I've ever seen. It's one piece. It looks like it's got this design at the end here for maybe the O-rings to go around and this to slip onto. Huh. Interesting. I don't know how well that'll center, but I mean, I guess okay. What's the rubber grommet skin on there? Or O-rings. Alright. So, the literature on here says ball bearing already assembled. So yes, there is a ball bearing inside here already. And then says the grease, of course. Oh, excuse me. Raised dot on 268 must be in direction screw head 503. So on these little ball links, there's a little dot on it, and it says that dot must be in direction of the screw head. So that's some important information. And it's basically because one side is bigger than the other to accept the ball itself once you pop it on. So, all right, so I'll just get at it and start greasing it up and putting her together. And let's see what these say. Yes, even these tail. The tail thrust bearings have in and out on them, so like the bigger ones, the in goes in and out is on the outer. Come on. All right, so thrust bearings are greased. The first bearing was installed already, so we just need to put in the washer and then the thrust bearing. On these smaller ones, I usually just put the bearing on my. I mean, this one I usually use 1.5 millimeter, but just put it on there with the out or the in furthest out. That way, when I put it in, it's the right direction. Slide it down in there. That's it. It's in. Just kind of clean some of that grease up with this, so it doesn't get into the bolt that screws into the feathering shaft. Alright, so that one's in, and then after that, the another washer is a little bit smaller. goes on top of that, and then the bearing. And slide that down. Put the 1.5 in there and just circle around in there to get it all centered. We'll move on to the next one. And washer. I can get it in there. It won't go in. There it goes. Thrust bearing. And get all that cleaned up out of there. Give it another go through. And then the smaller washer and the bearing. Run it through, get it all centered. That's good. So now it wants me to go ahead and put it on the feathering shaft. It is saying to put the 444, which is an O-ring. It looks like it's going to be these really small ones. There's 2 of them, one for each side. Just slide over the shaft. I reckon they go all the way down. Kind of squeeze it over it. Rest against the this next lip right here, closest to the center. So you put that in, and then the blade grip goes on. Yeah, that goes just like that then. All right, go ahead and bolt that in. Let's see. Huh. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, the washer and I think 2.5. Yep, 2.5. So Loctite. And just go ahead and be careful. Center it up. Try not to get the Loctite on any of the bearing, outer bearing. Just go ahead and snug it up best you can. Seems pretty loose, so that's good. Moving free. Go ahead and put the small washer on the other side. Roll it down to the very bottom. Put the next blade grip on. The washer came out of its center, so I gotta roll it back around. It's not wanting to go down. There it goes. Alright, so get the other bolt and washer. Loctite. Put a little more on there. And same as the other side, be careful. Center it up so you don't get any Loctite on the washer. Screw it in. I'm just going to grab my other 2.5 and tighten these up. Snug them good. And they seem to both be moving pretty freely. Are we good there? Alright, and now it wants me to build this. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Put it like it is in the picture. And remember that the raised dot goes towards the head of the Let's see. Yep, so it's dot is up right now, and the head, this is just a shaft that's blank on the bottom end, and it has threads at the head, the base of it, the head. So, and this part's threaded, so this will go through like so, and then thread in on top. So we'll put some thread lock on that. And this is most likely the 2 millimeter. Yeah. Let's give it a snug. You don't. I would say you probably. Well, it doesn't matter. Tighten it up because you're not actually pinching those together because of the threads being on top. So that's pretty cool. You can't tighten it too much. It's just kind of floating in there on that blank part of the bolt. There's no threads. So that's pretty cool. And this does say this is factory assembled, so you don't have to worry about Loctiting that brass threaded sleeve that goes inside that bearing there. So yeah, you got one side in, do the other. The raised dot is towards the head. And put this in. And put some Loctite on it. Tighten it down. Wipe off any excess. And there we go. So that's good. Put the ball link or ball. And I believe that's it for A. So now we will going to go ahead and slide it on the main tail, main tail shaft. So we need to put these. There's 4 of them. Instructions say that there's 2. Two of the bigger ones. I'm looking at it if there's more somewhere else. I don't see any. But all you need is 2. But really, I think you can double them up. Which I think that's probably why they included them. Because I just put one on right there. And there's still space for another one. So, although it's only showing 1, or 2. Actually, the picture's showing that there is 2 on each one, each little slot. But up here, oh no, well yeah, I might be wrong. I'm looking. I think I'm wrong. It has O-ring for the smaller ones I put on. Oh, here it is, down here. Okay, never mind. So yeah, there's 4, so 2 on each one. Bear with me, I'm getting it. Alright, so I need to take that back off and grease it up. So I'm going to just use my little tweezers here. Be careful as I can, don't poke into it. And then we're going to go ahead and just set this on my napkin here and put some grease on them. I'll roll them in my fingers. back and I'll just put the 2 on the first one. That way it's easier for the next 2 to kind of slide over those and go down to the next shaft. Yep. Right over them. There we go. And I'm going to use the grease on my hands to grease this rod up. Alright, so that's in. It's saying to, which it doesn't matter, I'm just going to slide this on, but it's saying to have that on the rod. I'm going to put it on afterwards. So yeah, we'll slide this on. And then we're going to have to find a hole. Might have been easier just to find it before, line it up as best I can before I slid it in. Oh yeah, passed right by it. Try not to beat these O-rings up too bad. I see them stretching in there a little bit, or pulling out of it whenever I'm pushing, so I'm trying to twist it at the same time. There we go. Kind of pinched over. It's kind of going into the hole a little bit, so I'm going to try to squeeze it through and then bring it back. See if it'll straighten that O-ring up a little bit. I think we're good there. Alright, now it has this little rod that goes in to keep the shaft. That thing slid right in, so that's good. But it keeps the main shaft in the actual end piece here that's holding the main, or the tail blade holders. So we got that in. So now we take this locking Allen bolt or nub and put it in the end of it so it holds that rod that slid in. Hold it in place so it won't slide out. That rod that went through here, there's threads at the very end down here, so it'll, once I get it in here, it'll meet up with it, and then I'll apply some pressure so it won't work itself out. That's it. That's together. Very nice. I like it. Alright, we'll go ahead and slide this on. Well, let me put the balls in first, and then we can slide that on and snap them in place. Just checking the blade holders out. It unfortunately doesn't have any it has an inlay for the head bolt to lay in, but it's just flat on the other side, so it won't hold the actual nut in place while you're bolting the tail in. You're gonna have to hold it with a pair of pliers or something so it won't spin. But I'm gonna make sure both of those inlays are on the top for the bolt to sit in. Like that, and then I'll slide this on and go ahead and snap these in. On my Strike that I built, the special edition, these things broke when I put them on, and I had to order some new ones in, so hopefully that didn't happen with this. And I did make sure I put it on right. But yeah, that's hard. Which, I mean, it's fine. You know, it's hard to do it with your hands, I know, but especially being brand new. But I would rather you do it that way, so I know they'll go on without forcing. But let's just see. I can see it sliding over. Yeah, it went on. We're good. Make sure it didn't crack anywhere. It looks good. I don't see any cracks. She's moving pretty slick. Good there. So that's done. Page 16 and 17 are ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. That was 32 minutes. Dang. All right. So now we're going to bring the heli back over. We're on page 18 and 19. We're going to try to slide this down so we can see it all. 2 bags left. Go ahead and build the tail up. Get this belt on the rear gear for the tail blades. So 18 and 19 says insert tail drive pulley into the tail drive belt. So the pulley goes in first. Probably the bearing actually. Put the bearing in first in that little plate that we already installed right here. And then the tail gear. First put in the 2098 and then the 3038. So the 2098, so they're both set screws. And one is cone shaped at the end to kind of maybe dig in or going into a, which we can open it and look at it. Well, this doesn't matter here. These are just the threaded parts, but the actual shaft. Yeah, so the cone shape will go into that hole to actually center it. That's pretty cool. It's got like a little beveled edge in the shaft right there for that cone to go into. And then on this side is just a flat, which that's what the other bolt is, flat set screw. So, and then it says glue in ball bearings with strong thread locker. And we know how I feel about that. I'm not going to do it because that's another point. The bearings get pinched in, so really no point in it. I'm curious to see how long this build has taken me. Haven't gone through any footage yet, but once I get the editing going and all, I can kind of see how long each video is taken and calculate the time. Alright, so here's the bearing that I'm going to slide in. Slid right in, no problem. And then it wants the belt, which the threaded holes go towards the side that doesn't have a plate on there yet. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this thing in and see if I can get it to line up. I mean, really, yeah, that's not coming back far enough to even line up with that. So, it makes me think that the tail needs to come a little bit more forward. So I'm going to try again. But I mean, man, that thing is not going in any further. Hitting against something. It is. It's hitting against the it's hitting against the idler or the tensioner pulleys. Makes me wonder if this is all the way on over here, which it has to be. Cause I already put it. Yeah. The back tail can't go in anymore because of that slit in the tail. So I know that's all the way in. So the tail is all the way forward. The belt doesn't look to be, it's in place on the front gear. But I mean, we're off by probably 1/4 of an inch before it even lines up with the bearing I just put in. The tail, the rear tail gear inside the belt. Trying to pull back on it. It's not, something's got to be going on. Do I have the belt twisted too much? Get the light in there so I can see. Can't quite see. No, the tail belt isn't twisted 2 times or anything like that. So that's interesting. What in the world? Pull it out a little bit and examine. Yeah, it's definitely hitting the it's hitting the idler pulleys up front, the tail, once I slide it all the way forward. So I am not sure. It's weird. Interesting. I guess I'm gonna try and get this in here and squeeze it back. I don't know. Not sure what to think here. I mean, the belt is not coming back far enough. Maybe I'll take it off. Yeah, that's what I'll do. All right, I'm going to take the belt off of the front to give me more room. So I can, all right, so I was able to get it back, no problem there. Just figuring it out, man. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, my plan will be, is now that I got that in there, it's not on the gear up here. I'll go ahead and, once I have it all assembled back here, I'll use my finger and guide it onto that pulley and twist it on and get it to ride up onto the, over the lip onto the gear. There's really nothing that says anything about that, though. It doesn't say anything about taking that belt off the main gear up front. But there's a big gap underneath it between the slant gear that hooks to the main gear for the main rotor. So that slid right in between there to give me all the room I needed to get it in. So, all right, let's continue. See what happens. So here's that plate for the other one. I'm gonna slide the bearing into that. We're not on that page yet, so let's just see what else it's saying to do. It's basically just telling me to go ahead and put these lock set screws in without putting that the other plate on. So we're gonna put the cone-shaped one in first, like the instructions say. Put some Loctite on it. I'm just looking for, I got the flat spot, spinning around for that cone-shaped hole. I'll go ahead and put it in. That's not going to be good for business. That's not going to be good for anybody. Yeah, and as I was tightening it, I saw it kind of center itself. So I'll go ahead and tighten that in. Spin it. This is the flat one. Loctite. And I'm going to put this one in. All right, so that's in. So that's it here. Go ahead and flip the page to 19 or 18. Sorry, 18 B and C. All Alright, so B is saying to basically just go ahead and put the bearing and this plate on. So let's go and do that. Alright, and then the screws it's saying is 155, which 155s are round headed. And there are 6 of them, so basically the most of inventory in that screw. And 1 in. And 2 in. Tighten them down. Alright, so that's in. And now on C, it's saying adjust sideways position so that the drive pulley flange does not brush against the ball bearing. Adjust sideways position. Let's see what they mean. Not sure what that means, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put the 2 bearings in. Nothing goes in between them, it just put them in between here. Slide right in, and then I would imagine the 1 bolt that's alone by itself is the one that's going in here. I'm not like one time before. I'm not going to put thread lock in and then slide them to the bearing. I'm just going to put them in the actual threads on this. So just kind of get a drop or so in there. All right, so screwing that in. Tighten it up. And these are rolling free. Go ahead and wipe off the excess Loctite. And you're going to go ahead and get those 155s. That's going to sit right on top there to hold that tail belt from popping off. Curious about this belt though, how it's going to act here, because I'm telling you, with that boom all the way forward, the belt was at least 1/4 of an inch away from that tail rod from even being centered into the hole. So, I mean, I know the belt will stretch at time, but from the get-go, it's going to be tight as heck, because I'm going to have to pull the boom out to clear the idler pulleys, tensioner pulleys. So if I can even do it, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. All right, so that's in. The next is the spacer here, and it's saying that the 155s hold that in. It goes right here in the rear. So I'm gonna go ahead and Loctite this up. Slide it in place. Screw it in. We are getting close. I mean, the next thing I got to do is obviously wire all this up. I probably ain't doing it tonight, but I will try to this week though. All right, that one's tight. That one's tight. We'll go back over, make sure this one's good. Yep. All right, so that's that. And 19 is saying to put these bolts in the tail to tighten the tail rod or tail boom up. So let me go ahead and slide this bolt or belt around the gear here, which it's already giving me a struggle. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't know what to think. Let me try doing the other way. Yeah, this is really tight. I don't think it's gonna go on. Dang. Wow, y'all. Really not sure. It's just too short, man. It's not wanting to go around it. Really not sure. I mean, I don't want to mess anything up. But if I'm trying to get this belt on and slide it over that lip, but I mean, right here, it's got a lot of tension, man. So something's going on. For this tail boom to be shoved all the way forward, hitting, I know it's hitting this tensioner pulley right here because I can feel the resistance on it. It's like it's rubbing against the tail boom right now. And this is the spring-loaded side, so it's being pushed outwards by the boom. So the boom's all the way in, and I can't seem to get the belt tightened or around the pulley because it's so tight. I'm going to call it right now and just try to figure this out, and I'll let y'all know. We're at 20 minutes. All right, I am back, and after talking with Danny at Aero Panda, where I got this kit from, he said that there was a few reports of the booms being a little longer than they should be. So I measured my boom, and in fact, this one was also a bit longer than it should have been. They're supposed to be 850 millimeters long, which is like 33 3/4 inches. And no, 33.5 inches. But mine was 33 1/4. So it basically was longer. I had to basically cut a 1/4 inch off, and I think I said it in the video. It looked like that this gear was a 1/4 inch off from being able to actually slide the shaft through to get it all met up and together. So and that's what I had to do. I ended up cutting this off, a 1/4 inch off of this end, and I'm about to go ahead and start putting it back together and seeing. Now, Danny did offer me a new boom, which is nice, but I mean, I do enough fabrication where I was able to get a nice clean cut, nice straight cut. And it was pretty simple. Just measured back with my micrometer, 1/4 inch, and I kind of went around the boom in a few different spots, and then I took a piece of electric tape and just followed those lines and wrapped it around, and then got my little cutoff wheel and followed the line, man. That was pretty much it, and it turned out pretty nice. So, and then of course I sanded the edges down to get any burrs off or sharp edges, and it's good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together and see what happens. So I'll come back to you and let you know. All right, I got it in and everything back together. It went in super easy this time. No resistance whatsoever, and there was, with it all the way forward, a little bit of slack in the belt. I was able to pull it back and tighten the belt up, and I'm about to put the bolts in to tighten the boom up to the frame, or squish it in the tail mounts, the boom mounts. So yeah, it was just a manufacturer, slip up and on a few booms, I would imagine. and I was the lucky one to have one of the longer booms. So all good though. I don't mind it at all, and it was nice of Danny to offer a new boom, but this one's good, and you know, maybe he'll still give me one. I'm not asking for it, but maybe he will. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put these in and tighten the boom down. Just gonna go ahead and snug them in first. Kind of just set it, get it set to the bottom, and don't tighten it up just yet. Get both in, and then check the belt tightness. And if it's good, I'll tighten her down. All right, so both of them are set down, and I've already kind of pulled the tail. The belt really is kind of tight already, but I'll just give it another little tug just to ensure it's going to stay there as I tighten it. One, two. So there we go. Tail is on. Orientation of the tail is right and correct. I turned the belt the right way. So looks like we are good. So now we will start on page 20 and 22. 20 is at the bottom of page 19, 20. Section A is want me to build the rod, and I think, yeah, I don't think we have to glue these. Maybe we do. Lightly roughen and clean the bonding areas, then glue the sleeves in place using 2 compound adhesive, ensuring they match the dimensions. Which the dimensions, it's saying, well, the dimensions is the spacing between the collars, I guess we're putting on. So let's see, let's open this up. So yeah, there's collars that we put over it, and then the end pieces. So we do have to glue. Okay. So basically, it wants me to glue these in place as well. Those fit right over that. Not much movement at all. So what I'm gonna have to do is go get my sandpaper, and I'm just gonna use CA glue. That's what I've always used. No issues with that. As long as you rough them up good, should be fine. So. But yeah, let me go do that. I'll be right back.